Holy cow. um, we just
Breaking news.
breaking news. This is a first. Usually we start our show with "Hi, this is the Third and Tail Podcast, Season 2, Episode 30. My name is
Yeah,
Nathan. Brian's here to
I
my
talk
right,
about something.
but
I talk about something stupid, and we move on from there.
exactly, but not today because holy cow, what in the world just happened? Um, so as of about I'm gonna give an hour or two ago, Robert Saleh, the New York Jets head coach, was fired. Um,
I got it at 10:13 this morning. I was told that he was fired. My buddy texted me, so a little over about 2 hours ago.
almost 2 hours ago. Ah, okay. Darn, I was still asleep. Oops. I'm always late to news whenever it's early in the morning. I'm telling you, I always get news like
Maybe
an
in the
hour or
West
two
Coast,
late.
like you want to wake up and like, oh my god, everything's happened.
Exactly. Like basically today when I woke up, I was like, "Holy cow, what the fudge?" But let's be honest. Let's just get right into it. I know Salah was a great defensive coordinator for the Jets.
hmm
He was.
The Niners.
Yeah, for the Niners, and he went to the Jets. There was so much optimism and like, okay, he was a great D coordinator for the Jets and for the Niners, and that he'd be a great head coach for the Jets, and blah blah blah. Aaron Rodgers was here, and he still is, but they only gave him 5 games together. And the Jets, Woody Johnson, the owner, was like, I had enough, and fired Salah today. According to reports, Salah went into work as usual. The whole coaching staff got to work as usual. They did the film study, but ownership and everyone else kind of came to a conclusion that no matter what, Salah was just not going to work out. And unfortunately, he was a scapegoat. And look, before you give your take, Brian, look, I understand it. It's just that the only one thing that kind of bothered me was that you only give him 5 games with Aaron Rodgers, but at the same time, there was just nothing, no improvement whatsoever. It felt exactly like last year and the year before when Salah was the head coach. It felt
hmm
exactly the same, even with Rodgers. The offense hasn't looked great at all. The whole team hasn't looked like what they're supposed to. Someone had to go, and unfortunately, the scapegoat was Salah.
Yeah, no, this is kind of a culmination of everything. Like this is a culmination of the frustration of last year and disappointment of losing Rodgers so early on, and then the slow start this season. Because the Jets know they're on a time crunch right now. They are. They have maybe another year with Rodgers before he's done, and then they're going to have to look for another quarterback. Which, if you know anything about the history of the New York Jets, that's not a given. They haven't had a good quarterback since like Mark Sanchez his first 2 seasons. Like outside of that, it's been like nothing since Namath. And even then, like Joe Namath is probably a little overrated. But that's a story for a different day. But this is, feeling the time crunch, knowing that there's no margin for error, and we're struggling right now, so someone's gonna have to take blame for it. We're not gonna cut Rodgers, so we'll just cut Salah, who was basically, brought in here for before Rodgers was, and hope that's the kick in the butt the team needs.
Salah's firing is the first time that the owner Woody Johnson has ever fired a coach in the middle of the season. After last year, when the Jets finished 7-10, he was pretty livid. Like he was mad. He even acknowledged it himself publicly that he was livid with the season last year and that he demanded significant improvement and kind of put the pressure on Salah to kind of fix it like immediately. And this
He
was
made
the
a
year
big
that he was supposed
he made a big investment in this team in getting Rodgers. And then,
to.
getting guys like, Lazard and surrounding Rodgers with kind of his guys, going out and getting Nathaniel Hackett as the OC. So he's like, I put a lot of investment into Rodgers. It has to work. And if Salah's not going to if Salah's not going to get us closer to that goal, because I don't think he was necessarily hindering them from it, but if he's not going to get us over the edge, we need to bring in somebody that can get us there.
Hmm. And we kind of felt like this was gonna happen. It's not like it's very surprising, but like for me, the one thing that stood out to me that kind of led to this firing was remember that cadence thing. I think it was last week or the week before. No, it was 2 weeks ago right? And Rogers was in the press conference, and they were talking about the cadence and stuff, and how I guess him and Salah were kind of in disagreement with the whole like, oh, maybe not do the cadence that Rogers is used to doing, or that Rogers has always done throughout his career and stuff like that. So it's like, for me, that specific event was like, okay, if the head coach and player and quarterback, let alone Aaron freaking Rodgers, aren't on the same page, come on now. Like you can't,
Yeah.
for Salah, you can't use a quarterback's cadence as a reason why the team was struggling 2 weeks ago with the whole false start situation and stuff like that. Anyways, though, I point that out because look, I mean, this isn't as surprising because
No.
the team's been struggling.
It's surprising of how early it came. It's surprising he's the first head coach fired. It's, this seems like something that, could have waited to more the middle of the season, maybe the end of the season if things really got off the rails. Like, you expect the guys like Doug Peterson to be fired first or someone along those lines. But the fact that it's Salah, it's like, whoa. I saw this coming, but this is coming 3 or 4 weeks early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Salah becomes the third NFL head coach to be fired after losing a game, ironically in London. The Raiders fired Dennis Allen in 2014 when they lost to Miami at Wembley Stadium, and the Dolphins also did the same thing in 2015 with Joe Philbin when they lost to the Jets at Wembley as well. And as
that London is the place coaches go to die.
Exactly. And as we're recording this, today is Tuesday, so Salah did coach his last game for the Jets on Sunday against the Vikings in Wembley Stadium. Throughout Salah's tenure, he's had 6 different quarterbacks: Wilson, Mike White, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Flacco, Trevor Siemian, and Tim Boyle. So a lot of quarterback movement throughout his head coaching career. But I think just goes to show, Brian, that look, not all coordinators are meant to be head coaches. I mean, Salah came from the Niners as a defensive coordinator. The Jets during his tenure was a pretty solid defensive team, but offensively just always so poor because it's partly because of the quarterback instability. The other part,
we have Zach Wilson as your quarterback, and let's be honest, who was the best quarterback Robert Saleh had? Is it Mike White?
Pretty much.
Because yes, it's obviously it's Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers named everything, but what has Rodgers done that makes you? Because we've all seen it. Rodgers looks washed. He threw 3 interceptions against Minnesota. He's a big reason they lost that game. Mike White's the only guy that get an excitement into this Jets fan base and played really good football down the stretch. He beat the Bengals. He played a really good game against the Dolphins. Is it Mike White?
Yeah, I mean, it's not Zach Wilson. You can't say Simeon. No one says Tim Boyle. Joe Flacco, no, that
was so bad in the Jets. He won comeback player of the year when he did good on the Browns. Which, by the way, it goes to show you that being on the Jets is worse than dying.
True. And they said the Giants are the bad team. Hey, the Giants have their head coach, and their quarterback is doing pretty good right now. But as of right now, the Jets will roll with their current defensive coordinator as the interim head coach in Jeff Ulbrich. That will change.
You couldn't put Hackett back there.
No. Oh, heck no. No way. They put him in there.
2 options. It was Hackett or him. And it's just I guess we'll go him because we kind of seen what Hackett can do. And ironically, he can't hack it. So.
Jesus.
So bad. So bad. Thought of it. I'm I got to do it, though. It's going to bug me.
Salah finishes 20-36 as the team's head coach. Was hired in 2021. According to Woody Johnson said, quote, "This morning, Jeff Ulbrich will serve as our interim head coach for the remainder of the season. He is a tough coach who has the respect of the coaches and players in this team. I believe he, along with the coaches on this staff, can get the most out of our talented team and attain the goals we established this offseason." End quote. Ulbrich is the defensive coordinator, so let's be honest, the OC is still Hackett, but Aaron Rodgers will likely take over because he's a 40-year-old veteran who at this point the Jets have no one else to turn to but Rodgers, because ain't no way they're trusting their offense anymore than Nathaniel Hackett.
The franchise is built around him right now. Like it or not, Jets fans, your franchise is built around what Aaron Rodgers does.
Mm-hmm. And they're not done. This isn't the only move. As we know, Devontae Adams is likely going to the Jets. We're all just waiting for the trade to go through at this point because the Raiders situation. We'll talk about Adams in a bit because do have some updates on that. Not breaking news on Devontae Adams yet, but we'll talk about Devontae a little bit more.
If you're the Jets and you're Joe Douglas, like, do you maybe go out and trade for Adams today and get the story, spin it positive?
Oh yeah, I would.
It's all negative right now. Like, hey, we fired Salah, but we just upgraded our team pretty big with Devontae Adams. So let that be the story, not
exactly. Kind of keep yourself in the headlines, but this time, like you just mentioned, for positive news. Robert Saleh, as of 33 minutes ago, according to Mike Silver, for those Niners fans who are asking, "Oh, what if we bring Saleh back?" Because hey, their defense in SF kind of suck. But as according to Mike Silver, Saleh plans to regroup, go on vacation with his family, and prepare for the next hiring cycle, where he should be in demand as defense coordinator. He has no plans to join anyone else's staff during this season. So this report kind of shows that he will take the rest of the year off and kind of just regroup, kind of reset himself and be ready when teams start to hire coaches in the off season. But I think he's pretty much done as the head coach of any team, because I don't think anyone's going to look at his resume and say he's a great head coach.
He needs to do what Dan Quinn does almost and just be the best defensive coordinator for San Francisco, for Dallas, for 5 years. And then they'll give him another shot.
Yeah, just somebody that he can. Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put it. Somewhere to prove himself. Jake Glazer talked to Saleh as well about 40 minutes ago. He was blindsided by Johnson walking into his office and letting him go. He was disappointed that he wasn't given the opportunity to get things going with what he said is a very good roster. Look, I understand it. This is your first. You only had 5 games with a Hall of Fame quarterback. But still, even with him, you couldn't get anything going on offense. Like these first 5 games were just frustrating. I mean, yeah, they won a few, but still, it's just everything looks so inept. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I think the best thing for him this offseason is to go back to SF because their defense situation looks shaky. He had so much success there in SF. I'm sure a lot of Niners fans would love Saleh back on their team as the defensive coordinator. But as of right now, he does plan to just chill and relax.
Oh yeah, as he should. It's been very stressful tenure. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the season. Maybe do some spots here and there for like talk shows and stuff. I'm sure people want to talk to you, but just relax, regroup, refocus, and go from there.
Yeah. He's got time, man. I mean, he was, let's just be honest, he wasn't the greatest head coach, and I'm sure a lot of criticism is going to come his way, like, oh, thank God he's gone, or blah, blah, blah. Just reset, turn off your phone, go hang out with your family, and, just enjoy football from a fan perspective. And then when the time comes, when it's time to be a coach again, then you'll get right back to it. But as of right now, don't even worry about coaching. Seriously. So
be with your family, be with them, focus on things that matter, enjoy the holidays, worry about coaching and next year's job. Because we all know money is not a concern right now for Saleh. He was paid very handsomely, and there's a buyout being worked out right now.
So 20-36 as the Jets head coach, as Robert Saleh was fired this morning. So. By the way, he was escorted out by the director of security. When Adam Gase was fired, he just walked out normally. But apparently, they had to get director of security to walk Saleh out. So that was interesting.
More of a blind side, and like it being like the middle of the season. Like Adam Gase was like, if you talk to any Jets fan when they hired Gase, was how long till he gets fired?
True.
It was like. Adam Gase was like on the hot seat the moment he joined the team, so
got a point. All right. But that's our I think it's like the first time we had breaking news before our show that wasn't Giants related, because usually we always start the show normally. But we hope you guys are having an incredible Tuesday as we are recording this. Yeah, and let's just get right to our regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the Giants and Seahawks review. Very shocking game that we saw on Sunday. We'll talk about the rest of Week 5, and then dive into some baseball because the Irish had a bye week this past weekend. We'll talk about them more on Thursday when we preview the team, upcoming matchup. But MLB has taken over our minds as well, and we'll take over our minds for the next few days until the NFL is back up. But at this point, with Brian's team and my team in the playoffs facing against each other, but definitely like to get your thoughts on that, Brian, later on in the show. All right. Look,
so you want to keep making noises or
what's up?
No, my dog's sitting in with me and he's just scratching himself and just like, I don't know if you can hear it.
Nah, you're good. We love dogs, man. It's all good.
Oh, babe, what are you doing?
What type of dog is it?
He's a yellow lab.
Ooh, big boy.
Yeah.
Big
boy.
How old is he?
Stop licking yourself. Stop doing that. No. All right, I'm sorry. Keep going.
All right. So look, after what happened last year with the Seahawks, I think a lot of us, including myself, and you too, right? We were like, okay, yeah, this is definitely a game that, based on what we saw last year, ain't no way the Giants win this one.
Especially in Seattle.
Like,
we got embarrassed on our home turf, and now we have to go to Seattle and play against the 12th man with everything. Nah.
Good luck with that. Well, the Giants, of course, say, no matter what, man, whenever things are bad, they always tend to just bring us right back in. After years and years of losing games because of special teams, sometimes the story writes itself. With Seattle set to kick a game-tying field goal with 55 seconds left, the game was going to go in overtime. We were probably not going to walk out of there anyways because, let's be honest, we just don't win when it counts. Basically, when the moment shines brightest. As of recently, we kind of just suck. Well, apparently the Giants said, "Okay, y'all want to doubt us? Fine. Watch this."
This to tie the game at 23, and it's blocked. Isaiah Simmons, and picked up by Bryce Ford Wheaton, and he is going to go. The Giants sideline erupts. Unbelievable.
See, that fan's reaction is
exactly
perfect.
Everyone's
we
reaction.
had to go through. We had to go through that crap every single time. And now it was nice to just be on the opposite end of that, to apply the game-winning play, and we did that as we blocked that field goal. Shout out to Isaiah Simmons. Holy cow.
Isaiah Simmons.
Out of all people, a guy who just has been getting like minimal snaps this year, put him on special teams, first time ever on the field goal block team, and he did just that, blocking that kick from J.C. Myers.
Now. He's got a home now. He's going to get every single field goal block
every single time.
Rest of his career. It's like you did it once, you're going to do this every single time.
And every single team, I guarantee, be like, we're going to focus on that guy. Because the fact that when he jumped, at that moment, I'm like, where's the flag? Because you can't jump the center. He didn't jump over the center. It was between this. It was the center and the right guard, right? It was like a gap in.
You like the no man's land. He jumped through.
Yeah, and I was like, "Ain't no way that is legal." It was. Yeah. So he blocked that kick. He even knocked down the kicker too, which was an extra bonus to that.
Get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
Not only did I stop you from doing your job, now I'm going to embarrass you on live TV and knock you down.
I love him, dude. Exceptional play by him. Bryce Ford Wheaton picking up the 5th or 6th string wide receiver, picked that up for the touchdown. And Giants won 29-20. and prevented the game from any overtime whatsoever. But I will say there's a lot to break down from this game, so let's just get right into it. Offensively, oh my God, I mean,
Daniel Jones.
I don't know what's going on. After what we saw the week before against Dallas, where okay, I'll admit it, I was a bit harsh on him. It's just the fact that he can't throw the deep ball, and that's the one thing that frustrates us both. Okay, he said F you to both of us and everyone else and said, all right, I'll show you some deep balls down the field.
Yeah.
He threw a couple of them to Darius Slayton, one for about 41 yards, and then threw a 30-yard touchdown, which was not only impressive because he threw it more than 20 yards down the field, but apparently that was a secondary read because
that's huge.
Exactly. Because all this time it was like, dude, please stop staring down your primary target. He stared us down his primary target. I forgot who it was, but they were streaking past the middle of the field to the right. He looked off that guy, fired it left to Slade on the other side in the end zone, and it was a touchdown. And I was like, what the fudge? He's making reads, not just
he's developing. He's developing. He's moving on from what he's taking the criticism, and he's developing and relearning his game, which is awesome.
I know. Like, it's great to see. Like, look, as much as we talk about his struggles and how it's like, maybe he may not be the future still, no matter what happens. But this guy played extreme. He was efficient once again, and honestly, that's what matters right now. Sometimes you don't always have to make the flashier plays. Just be efficient, help your team win games, and get the job done. And he got the job done once again. 23 or 34, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. We talk about the deep ball, no turnovers, no fumbles, none of that stuff. One important thing that I saw was against the blitz. That did not bother him whatsoever. 13 to 17, 130 yards. The 2 touchdowns that I mentioned were against the blitz. Oh my God, Brian. I mean, honestly, this guy, I don't know what it is. I don't know.
I don't know either. It's it's kind of like hard work pays off kind of thing. And like you said, do we know if Daniel Jones is the future or not? No, I don't think we'll know until the end of the season. I think if Jones continues to play like this, it opens up an interesting debate. Now, regardless of what happens, I think Daniel Jones gets released at the end of this year because his contract is just way too much. Regardless, he will be released. The question is, do the Giants re-sign him or restructure the contract in a way where it's a lot more forgiving on our salary cap? Because I've said on this show 1,000 times is you don't need you don't need Daniel Jones to be you don't need Daniel Jones to be Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. You need him to be Kirk Cousins. You need him to be that game manager who's efficient with the ball and doesn't turn the ball over. He could put you in spots to win the game, which is what we've seen outside of week 1. But that's just, I think, a testament to how good Minnesota is than Daniel Jones. We've seen it. He's done exactly that. He is, is he a top 10, top 15 quarterback? No. But is he like that 16 to 20 range where he can win you a ball game? Absolutely. So he's making it interesting and making a very interesting question for Joe Schoen coming down the stretch here. And he still has a lot to prove. But right now, the Giants are a pesky team. And if they can go in and make a statement on Sunday night, the whole season's different.
And that's the thing, because with Jones, we love when we see performances like this because it gives us hope. Like, it gives us hey, maybe you can be our future. But the reason why we say maybe is because we need consistency. Against Dallas, we didn't see this type of game. He had Malik Neighbors. He had Devin Singletary. Dallas's defense was susceptible to being beat. They could have been beaten, but we just couldn't get the job done. We couldn't execute. And it's because, Jones isn't consistent. He has never really been consistent since that playoffs in 2022. And even then, there were times where he struggled, and it was Saquon Barkley leading the way on offense. Now, we saw what he's capable. Jones is capable of against Seattle. 257, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. In the past 4 games, 67.65% completion percentage. He is 92, 136 in terms of.
I don't think it's the 1 turnover, right?
Yeah, Just one, and that was
The
just
interception.
yeah. But he just chucked it, Hail Mary to end the game. Take that out, he's turnover free.
Perfect ball. Yeah, he's not costing the Giants anymore.
He's not.
Like at the same time, he's not propelling us. So it's like it's caught in the middle.
Yeah, true. That is true. We had the last 4 games, 953 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 pick, a 99.3 passer rating. He has been one of the most efficient quarterbacks since week 2. And oh, by the way, he has 1,138 passing yards, which, and I can't believe I'm saying this, is 9th most in the NFL, which is crazy. He's
it's been a crazy year for quarterbacks, but I did not expect that to happen. Daniel Jones is top 10 in passing yards.
Like Jones never even eclipsed 1,000 passing yards till like week 6 or 7 or something.
I mean, I guess when you put a talented team around him, you got the good old line, you got the weapons, like he can perform. And going back to what you were saying earlier about Daniel Jones and what he does with the blitz and stuff, like that could just be Daniel Jones now being more comfortable and feeling like he has a line in front of him that can protect him.
Yeah,
in the past, he saw a blitz, he goes, "Oh God, the turnstiles are moving." Now it's like, wait, I have time.
Yeah, like I have a pocket that is cleared up, and that is, we'll talk about the O-line towards the end of the offensive segment here, but they played extremely well. They made Jones very, very comfortable in the pocket and keeping him safe. And shout out to Carmen Brasillo for that as well. But overall, man, like you just said, this is what happens when you put a team around this guy. He's capable of getting the job done. You just gotta believe. And although I think
we all say 6 was too high for him, but like I think it's overshadowed that he was going in the 2nd or 3rd round.
Yeah,
like he was still an early draft pick. He
was just overreached for.
Exactly. Yeah, like this guy did have talent. This isn't like they drafted, Jordan Travis, projected a 6th round pick at 6. No, they drafted like a guy that was probably an early to mid 2nd round pick at 6. Like it's a reach. Like it's not as bad as people made it out to be.
There you go. But yeah,
there's still some talent. There was like, okay, this guy could be an NFL starting quarterback.
Yeah, we expect him to be something he's not, and I feel like that's where being 6 overall, that's where everyone's like, oh, you have to be Mahomes or Josh Allen. Yeah, but maybe he's just not built for that role. Kirk Cousins, he's doing pretty well as not being like a Mahomes type player, but he's just a guy that will just help you.
Was Tom Brady a Mahomes player?
No.
Very good quarterback, but like he wasn't doing what Mahomes did.
Never.
Like, all right. Low style quarterback sits in the pocket, lets him play the belt, and hits the receivers. Now, Tom Brady is 10 times, 100 times better than Daniel Jones. I'm just saying you don't need that freakish athleticism to be a good quarterback in this league anymore.
All you need to show is consistency, hit your guys, don't boneheaded decisions, and you're good. And Jones has done that this season 100%. Like I said, that one interception since against the Cowboys, that was just a Hail Mary last-second attempt to win the game. But these are games that we want to see from him. But I'm going to say this right now. If you just mentioned Sunday night, Cincinnati at home, in front of the Giants fans, in front of a national audience, if he beats Cincinnati, I'm not just saying if the Giants beats, I'm talking about Jones specifically.
Yeah, if Jones has a good game, if Jones can repeat what he did in Seattle,
I'm back.
I'm back in. I'm back in. The wild. I want to say division because it is kind of open, but like I think Washington's kind of sealed that. But the wild card is right up the grass with us.
Exactly, it's wide open. Philly, they are struggling a little bit. Dallas doesn't have a run game whatsoever. They barely escaped Pittsburgh. I
want to talk about Pittsburgh a little bit too, about Mike Tomlin.
Oh yeah, of course. But yeah, I love for him, honestly. As much as he's struggled at times, and much as he gets a lot of criticism, he's taken it by the chin and he just goes out there and tries to prove on the field, and he proved it once again on Sunday after what he did in Cleveland. He did the same thing here against Seattle. Shout out to, I think this is probably his best game of the season so far.
Oh, without question. Without
question.
question. Most consistent, most like you just look at the complete quarterback in this one. Like, all
Mhm.
right, you didn't fear him because like in the Dallas game he played fine, but you knew that deep ball is not working tonight. Against
And
Seahawks is like, oh, there's nothing he can't do right now. He can run the ball, he can throw, check down, multiple reads, throw the ball deep. Nothing's preventing him from winning this.
I love his confidence too. I think you saw there's a play where he was running towards the right sideline and he got hit, I think, and he got up, and then there's a Seattle defender on the ground that hit him. And as Jones got up, he kind of stared at him, and I was like, "Oh, he got some swagger."
If we get a cocky Daniel Jones, I don't think the league is ready for a cocky Daniel Jones.
Oh my God! That just shows the confidence just screaming from him. We don't see that from him, and hey, I love it. I honestly do. That's if if you get a quarterback with that type of attitude and swagger and confidence, I think it will pay off for sure. And hey, if he shows that again against Cincinnati, who is kind of reeling themselves, but they still are a good team with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and a defense led by Trey Hendrickson. I think
struggling though. Like
yeah.
The Jones is in a prime opportunity with that defense struggling to just pick them apart.
That primetime record, baby. It's looking rough, right? It's been looking rough for Jones. You beat Cincinnati on national TV on Sunday Night Football. We're so mad.
Narrative changes very fast around the Giants.
I
think it is shifting right now because after the Thursday night performance and then this game in Seattle, I think people are kind of the Giants game, bro. Like are paying like okay, the Giants do have something here.
Mm-hmm.
Win against Cincinnati would be like, okay, this Giants team actually good and just had a really bad week one against top team in the NFC right now.
Exactly. So, alrighty. Well, Jones wasn't the only player that played well. Honestly, if I had to give out players of the game, I give it to Jones and then this guy. Because holy cow, look, I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
because I
got a lot.
Okay, because we knew what he was capable of. But bro, we did not expect this to happen. Tyrone motherfudging Tracy Jr. Welcome to the league, bruh. Holy cow. 18 carries, 129 yards. His longest run was 27. He had 7.2 yards per carry. But that's not the best thing about this. He is the only running back this season to gain positive yardage on every single carry by a running back with at least 15 plus rushing attempts. Are you freaking kidding me, dude? Tyrone Tracy, a converted wide receiver, 1 year of running back in college.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Told you don't need to spend big on a running back. Like, there's a lot of Giants fans right now yelling about like, oh, we lost Saquon and because of Daniel Jones' contract. Tyrone Tracy just showed you can find what we've been saying the entire time is you can find a running back anywhere. A converted wide receiver 5th round pick is showing why he can be the future at running back for this team.
Oh yeah. I mean, his vision, his spatial awareness, his tempo, his speed. He had 4 runs of 10 plus yards. He's a smart guy. Like he's a stud, dude. Like
he is.
We talked about the running back by committee that we didn't mind that whatsoever.
No.
But
I'm kind of hopping off that and just being like, all right, your bell cow is Tracy, and then Singletary and Gray can fight for the other scraps.
/ who can fumble the most, basically.
Yeah, because it's
I mean, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of Tracy. Seriously, I mean, he's a fast guy. Like I know he was fast coming out of college, but I did not know who had like that type of speed. But like he was so quick with his decisions. Like he saw the hole, he just darted through it, or like he found the hole immediately as soon as he got the handoff. Kind of made a little juke or two, right down the middle or to the sides or whatever the case may be. Honestly, I'm just like, yeah, that guy had. I mean, I'm sure once Singletary is healthy, they'll probably go back to him.
Yeah, because you have to. He's a big free agent signing, but like you can't not ride the hot hand. Like, what is Singletary done to really impress you to be the running back one? Like, a decent week 2. You had a few moves against Dallas I liked, but like you can still get that in short sample sizes as the running back 2, as the running back 3. Tracy has impressed me to be the running back 1, like 127 yards. I know Seattle's run defense isn't the greatest. They're in the bottom 15 in the NFL. I get all that. But to see him every week just get better and better and better makes you, why not ride this hot hand? Just ride it out until, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You throw Singletary back in there. But just don't cut it off now because you pay the veteran so much money. Let the kid run and see what he does.
Like, at least give him. But that's the thing, though. When you split carries with someone, kind of ruin the momentum in some ways. If that kind of makes, if you kind of get my drift, they kind of
Yeah,
disrupts.
I get that.
Yeah. But Singletary has struggled with fumbles this year, and he, after that game against Dallas, where just couldn't get anything going, because Dallas' run defense was also miserable, and the fact he could only get 24 rushing yards. I know Singletary will likely be healthy again for this week against Cincinnati, but if Tracy has a great game against Cincy, just like Jones, if he has a great game in Cincy, I think that kind of just ends the debate of like, yeah, that guy Tracy, he should be the RB1. He has all the traits. He has all the traits. He's more than capable of breaking tackle. We didn't see that much of that on. We kind of did. We saw a few broken tackles.
We've seen it in other games this season. He just needs to put it all together.
Exactly. And he has the speed to do. He has the vision to show that he can be an RB1, and he can make big plays. Like I said, 4 runs of 10 plus yards, and they weren't just 10 yards for each one of them. They were like 15, 16, 27 yards was was his longest run on the day, I should say. So just impressive stuff by him, and definitely helped out a lot, trying to take the pressure off Jones. Because coming in, a lot of questions was like, all right, with Singletary out, will a running back, stand up and perform? Tracy was that guy.
Yeah, because I was, like my family and stuff beforehand, and like we had like a legit conversation. It was like, all right, Tracy's looked okay, Gray is fine, but do we really trust either one of these guys to be taking 20 carries? Like we started talking about the kid from Boise State as the next running back of the Giants, let alone
GNC.
Yeah, and then Tracy does this, and then it completely flips. Like we don't need a running back. We're fine. Just roll with Tracy.
Hey, like you mentioned, when we started talking about Tracy, we don't gotta overspend for running back. Maybe just late round guys always shine. We've seen that with recent Super Bowl winners, the Chiefs with Isaiah Pacheco, 7th round guy. He's, when healthy, he's pretty darn good. Not saying Tracy's going to be Pacheco, but after one game, he showed that he's pretty dang good. So shout out to Tracy, man. Hopefully the Giants. I kind of want him to start against Cincinnati. I still have Singletary in there, but still start Tracy because I know it's just one
60-40 split. Like Tracy gets 60, Singletary, he's getting touches, but it's like, okay, he's clearly the third down type.
Then Eric Gray just is in the background /
Gray when both of them are tired. All right, Gray, get out there and try not to screw up.
And just hold on to the football, please. Jesus, he fumbled again on I think it was a return. Damn, man. Come on, Eric.
Like, we had so much hype for you. I was so excited when we got you, and you've just done nothing to prove any of that.
I have hope for him. It's just like damn fumbles, man.
No longer is running back 1. It's like, all right, maybe he could be a nice like role player, like
special teams,
maybe special teamers, a third down back. Maybe he can kind of transition to a receiving back. But I know Tracy's a wide receiver. But like, if he's going to be the bell cow, you kind of need someone that can specialize in receiving. Maybe that's where Gray kind of needs to step it up. But yeah, not looking great for him right now.
I don't know. All right. So Singletary wasn't the only player that was out on Sunday. The Giants did not have Malik Neighbors, who was still recovering from that concussion that he suffered against Dallas. Who needs Neighbors? No, I'm kidding. No, but let's be honest. The Giants receiving game. they did pretty good. I mean, Darius Slayton, a guy who's been struggling with drops, didn't drop any notable passes on Sunday. 8 catches, 92 yards, a touchdown. Wando Robinson had 6 catches, 36 yards, and a touchdown as well. Theo Johnson did some stuff.
No, we talked about it last week. Where are the tight ends? Finally, we're
There,
seeing tight ends get work.
5 catches, 48 yards for the rookie from Penn State. Slayton targeted 11 times, Robinson 9 times. So it's clear Jones trusts those two. He trusted those guys on Sunday. Shout out to Darius Slayton, though.
There is a big absence. Who didn't get work on Sunday?
Who?
Hyatt. Who I think if you're not touching the field when Malik Neighbors is out, you're done. You're done here. Trade him now. I don't know what you even get for him, unless you want to like package him and make like a run at a T. Higgins or a Devontae Adams, which the Giants will never do. But
I mean, yes. I mean, I think Hyatt played in about 30 snaps in the first half. He finished with 48. Just nothing. He couldn't do anything at all. I think like 40-something routes or 40-something plays.
Running cardio out there.
Basically, he did draw 2 holds. Cool.
Anyone they could throw us out there and we can do that. That's not like, you know, you're not providing much value to your team if you're drawing penalties. Like, all right, we can do anyone can literally do that. Brian Dable can do that.
Yeah, you got a point.
Section 325 can do that.
You got a point. But no, seriously, yeah, great stuff by Slayton. And honestly, I know in the past I've been skeptical of him. I was like, maybe you should put Hyde out there instead of Slayton as a wide receiver number 2, put Robinson on 3. He's making me look like an idiot. And honestly, I at this point in time, through 5 games, it's clear that I know Slayton has struggled with drops and everything, especially that Dallas game was, oh my God. But at the same time, he has the chemistry with Daniel Jones. He's had experience on this offense and experience in the league as a whole, and that does help your cause. Plus, he's played decently well. I mean, we saw on Sunday. He's more than capable of being a wide receiver number 2, and a number 1 when needed to, like we saw against Seattle when Neighbors is out. So yeah, I honestly at this point just keep rolling with what you have. Keep put Hyde out there to run routes if you want to. At this point, he's your wide receiver number 4.
Kind of like 100%. The guy that like draws the safety, like have him run deep routes and like have like the safety kind of go off on him, and then you kind of get like a mid open, something like that. I get Hyde's only good for this track right now, but you hit the nail on the head with the chemistry with Daniel Jones. That's what saved. That is why Darius Slayton is the wide receiver 2 in this team right now, because whatever it is, he just has some connection, and Jones feels comfortable enough with him that he just needs to be out there.
And he's done nothing. Slayton has done nothing but kind of just handle himself with poise. We know about when I think it was the playoff in 2022 when he was benched, didn't play like a single snap throughout the first few weeks, and then thinks he got the opportunity to show what he can do, and he proved himself as the season went on in 2022. He took a pay cut.
Yeah,
this past off season, I think, or his contract was restructured to where it worked out for both sides. He's gone through a lot. But I
know that drop in Minnesota, just how distraught he was on the sidelines. So much so that Dave had to go over and calm him down. So keep your head in the game. We're not out of this yet. We might need you again.
He cares. Like, he cares about his performance. He's hard on himself, which is a good and a bad thing. But at the same time, he can perform.
It's just like he just wants to win. He's got that competitive nature that can't be taught. It's just you're born with it or you're not. And Slayton was born with it. To compete, he wants to be the best. Like I said, move on from the guy a lot, but from what I've seen this season, I'm ready to admit I'm wrong, and I'm kind of ready to have Slayton penciled in as wide receiver 2. Well, maybe not wide receiver 2, but as the guy in the across from Neighbors on the outside. I would like Robinson as the slot. So slot is like the 3rd receiver, but like we all know, it's Neighbors, Robinson, Slayton.
100%. So I mean, at this point, if Slayton can keep this up, if he can continue to, because Neighbors gonna be back most likely for Sunday's game against Cincinnati.
Be shocked if he wasn't back.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. I mean, concussions can't, unless it was that serious. There's no way it lasts that long.
Like it was like concussions are bad, but like even after the Thursday night game, people were kind of like, yeah, it'd be shocking if he wasn't playing in Seattle. So that makes me believe that it was mild and like, oh, it's actually a little worse than we thought it was. But another week, he should be back out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he should be fully ready to go. But if Slay can have performances like this, I wouldn't mind keeping him.
Like Daniel Jones can continue, like we said, with going through the reads and the progressions. All right, say his first read is Neighbors and second read is Robinson. That third read could be like Slayton on like a check down route, and he can just hit him perfectly. That could be a perfect role for Darius Slayton, having that chemistry with Jones, being the guy like, all right, Neighbors and Robinson aren't open. I'm just going to my guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. God, this team played so good on Sunday. I'm so happy. Jones.
It's such a shame the Mets and Phillies were on the same time because I had to put my attention on both and like playoff baseball. Leading towards the playoffs, so like do not watch every single down. But from all the highlights and just everything I've read, it's like, man, this is the Giants team we were waiting for.
Yeah, it was hard to balance both games at the same time. I was like, oh,
thankfully I was at a bar, so it was just like the TVs were literally next to each other, but it was just like, cool. Yeah, okay, let's go. Wait, how do we lose it?
We'll talk about the Mets and the Phillies in just a bit. But yeah, shout out to Jones, Slayton, and Tracy. Those guys played extremely well on Sunday, as well as the rest of the offense. The offensive line, by the way, Carmen Bracillo, the O-line coach. What a god. My God.
Move the offseason. He might be. Like it's gonna be Neighbors, obviously, but like we said when we hired him, like as long as he gives us a top 15 line, we would celebrate.
We're doing so much more
line
than
right
that.
now. We're top 5 with a bunch
God.
of like kind of like wrap-in pieces.
Yeah, like we're just I don't know what to say.
Or Van Roten, like they both played pretty good. They came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I know Tunyon was good in Green Bay. Andrew Thomas, that's been like dominant, like he always has been. It feels like every week he's giving up like one sack or so.
Mm-hmm. The sack that he gave up on Sunday, I guess they credit him with it because even though Jones tripped over his foot, Thomas's foot, they'll still credit Thomas with the sack allowed, which I get or whatever.
If you trip the guy.
Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, I didn't love the sack. Yeah, but like he wouldn't have fallen down if you didn't trip him. That's fair.
Against the Seattle team that ranked first in pressure rate, the Giants allowed just 5 pressures the entire game. Thomas allowed 2 pressures. John Michael Schmitz had 1 pressure allowed. Greg Van Roten had 2 pressures allowed. I mean, this O-line, dude, it's been so long since I've been like this.
I can't even tell you the last good O-line the Giants had. Maybe it was 11.
Probably.
When like Snee and O'Hara were still on the team.
Dude, oh my God, I remember that team.
Then it's been rough. You've had some rough names on that O-line.
No, but I
great trivia questions one day of like the O-lines between like that 10 years of darkness of the O-line. It's just like, oh my God, we had him playing O-line.
Name the offensive line in 2019. It's like, huh? We don't know that one.
Eric Flowers wasn't out there.
Was it 2019?
I was off team by then.
Oh, Nate Solder.
Oh my God, Nate Solder.
Ah, Cameron Fleming on the right side. It was terrible.
Disgusting. Remember when Nate Solder and Eric Flowers were going to save the O-line? Like we finally got the tackles figured out because we got those guys. Jeez, how naive we were.
I know.
Flowers actually turned out to be a pretty good guard, so like I can't make fun of him anymore.
If we switched him early enough, we would have saved him. Or we would have saved ourselves. But this O-line, so proud of him. Thomas, Runyon, AMS, Van Roten, Illuminor. All 5 guys have played really well. They've given Jones a pocket that he's been waiting for his entire career in the NFL. And there's never been a bad game from this unit. So, I mean, Jones statistically had 3 sacks on him, but 2 of them were his fault. Thomas had that 1 sack allowed, but that was pretty much because Jones tripped over his foot. So you know, to subtract that, this O-line kept them clean. And man, through 5 freaking games, this offensive line unit, not even over exaggerating, at the top 5 at the very worst.
Statistically, it's a top 5.
Yeah, at the very worst, top 10. There's no way this is not a top 10 unit. So proud of these guys, man. But what an offensive performance by this team, and hopefully this continues against Cincinnati on Sunday night. Let's see. Brian, do you know who leads the league in sacks? By the way,
Pretty sure it's the New York Football Giants.
Yeah, I think so.
Crazy when you think about that, like Kayvon and Brian Burns haven't played up to expectations so far.
Yeah, like you would think, right? That it'd be like the Niners, maybe the Jets because they have a good defense, or the Cowboys with Micah Parsons.
Steelers with TJ Watt just basically helping them win all their games. Like
the Lions, Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, no, it's the Giants,
No,
and
it's us.
led by Dexter Lawrence.
Oh my God, he's such a beast. 22 sacks through 5 games for this Jets.
Before we dive into it,
of course,
Locked On Vikings.
No, oh please, oh God,
about?
I know it's coming. Take it away, please take it away.
It might be the worst take of all. Like I don't want to like be mean or anything because like they Locked On does a great job and everything. Like they do have some good podcasts, but the topic they had the other day on the Viking show shows that all 3 of those guys have no idea about football because they came up with a scenario where Vikings offered 2 first-round picks for Dexter Lawrence. Okay, yeah, that's not a terrible trade. Never gets done in a million years. And then they said that the Giants, what if the Giants turned that trade down? Right? Which, we probably would have. And counter-offered Dexter Lawrence straight up for J.J. McCarthy. Are you the dumbest human being on the face of the earth? No one. The Giants would laugh and hang the phone up if that was ever offered. Right? Because you know why? Because the Giants had the opportunity to pick J.J. McCarthy and passed on him for neighbors. So you think if the Giants liked McCarthy, would just pick them at 6?
Yeah, they would just pick them outright. And so I was like, why would it make sense to trade for him?
Yeah, and trade the best player on defense, maybe the best player on our team, for a quarterback that is unproven in the NFL, coming off a torn ACL.
And was a second-round talent.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Some people don't know ball. I
clearly don't know ball because I saw that and like almost was like, this is rage bait. Is all this is. This cannot be real.
Like they think that we're gonna trade Dexter Lawrence.
That was the best line. Was we would offer that? We are gonna offer that.
We would counter offer the original offer with that, for sure. Yeah,
the 2 first-round picks is like, you know what? I still wouldn't do it, but I could see the logic behind doing it. 2 first-round picks is a lot for a defensive tackle. Like, to be like, no, the Giants would counter offer that for a trade for J.J. McCarthy.
Nah, Jalen. Even Madden would be disappointed. Like
the red, like it's just like this is preposterous.
It would be like because you know how it turns red when it says
it turns red, yeah.
So like the red would be.
It'd be the bar. There'd be nothing on the bar. It'd just be there's no color. It's like the Giants aren't even considering this.
Please never try this trade again, ever.
Call us,
or the game will uninstall. Yeah,
I saw that. And I'm like, I cannot let that go. So let's talk about how great Dexter Lawrence was with his 3 sacks on Sunday.
3 mother freaking sacks. This Giants team, by the way, 22 sacks through 5 games. This is the 3rd most through 5 games over the last 15 seasons. Geno Smith was sacked 7 times for 53 yards lost. 10 QB hits from this Giants team. Lawrence, baby, 3 sacks. Ooh, man, from a guy that plays interior D line,
2.
3 sacks. Oh man, He was so good. He was so
You know what he's on
impressive.
pace for right now?
20 and a half, right? If I'm not mistaken. Insane.
That's only
Insane.
like, I think it's 3 off TJ Watt's record. Didn't he have
I believe.
23?
Mm-hmm.
Because he tied Strahan for 22, and I think he broke it the next week with 23.
Yeah. Which we thought was never could be beat, but hey, that's TJ Watt. That's how good he is. But
Yeah, but like, and that is as an edge rusher.
this isn't on the
The
inside.
interior.
Yeah, that's the best part. Oh, he was so good on Sunday. He made Seattle's O-line look like crap. And just shout out to Lawrence, man. He just continues to be a star, a superstar. As a matter of fact, I think at this point, Chris Jones, Dexter Lawrence is the best defensive tackle.
Lawrence.
Yeah, he's the best D tackle in the NFL by far. And this was honestly when he was even before this game wasn't even in debate because this guy just continued to perform and be a star. But after Sunday's performance, Lawrence showed that he's the best D tackle in the league by far. There's no one better than him whatsoever, as productive as him as well. So shout out to him. Yeah, but the Giants team, like I said, 7 sacks. DJ Davidson had 2 sacks. Brian Burns had a sack. 2 pass deflections, by the way, by Burns. Impressive.
Huge.
And then,
kind of a breakup game for him in a way. Like, you kind of be like, all right, this is the Burns who you're expecting to see.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, there was times where in the past few games where, like, he hasn't shown up statistically. He showed up statistically in this game. And Nunes Roches and Thibodeau had a half a sack each. Overall, though, they got to the quarterback. And honestly, this is what this Giants team, when they do have success, is known for. Getting to the quarterback. Having a great offensive line. That's how this Giants team wins games and are known for having success in their past. And no, I'm not saying the Giants will win the Super Bowl this year, but when they have won Super Bowls, it's based off 2 things: pass rush and great offensive line. What are we
seeing here so far? I mean, like, to be fair, I think that's how every NFL team has to win. You need a great pass rush, and you just need a time to stop the block.
Yeah.
Football's won in the trenches, is what we've seen.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like this Giants team is getting it done in the trenches on the defensive line against the quarterback. Made kind of life just hell for Geno Smith. That's all we could ask for. So shout out to our guys on that D-line, man. Great stuff. Deonte Banks, by the way, as we shift to the secondary here, there were questions again as to, he was the cornerback number 1 heading into this year. A lot of pressure on him to do so. He played like one on Sunday.
Yes.
I mean, 6 tackles, 89.9 Pro Football Focus grade, and 91.2 coverage grade. Allowed 2 catches on 5 targets for 17 yards. Had 3 pass breakups. Had that forced fumble on DK Metcalf. He looks really good. I mean, big props to Deonte. Big props.
That's Deonte we were waiting for all season. Is that one? That's the steps. And like, has he been the most consistent player? No, but we're continuing to see the flashes. And that flash on Sunday, if he can just build off that, he will go down as the undisputed quarterback 1 before the season's over.
100%. And it's like we love this. He's a second-year guy. He's more than capable of doing. He just needs to continue to get better and better. And he faced a guy who, in Metcalf, who was like 4th in receiving yards entering Sunday. He shut him down when it was, and Metcalf had like 4 catches, 55 yards. But like I said, with Banks, when he was targeted, only allowed 2 catches for 17 yards. So just great stuff by him, and so proud of him. Cordell Flott had a pretty great game as well on the other side for the Giants. Tyler Nubin had 9 tackles of the team in that. He's playing well. He's kind of the one rookie that hasn't really broke out quite yet. And it's,
I think a part of that is what is Xavier McKinney doing in Green Bay.
Yeah,
he's so good in Green Bay. That's just like, he can't live up to that.
It's hard to replace a guy like that because McKinney played so well when he was with the Giants. And McKinney will be a big topic to discuss when we review the NFL Week 5 slate. I'm excited to get your thoughts on that for sure. But the Giants held Geno Smith to a 54.7 QBR. 72 yards rushing by Geno Smith, kind of concerning, but it was like 2 runs that were like really long runs by the Giants.
It's concerning, but like, it also isn't when you look at it and you realize that he was the leading rusher for the Seahawks. Like, he got 70% of their team from Geno Smith. And that's when you're like, all right, maybe it's not that big concern because we locked down the running backs. And, like, good running backs in Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbot. So,
Yeah. And Walker with 5 carries, 19 yards. Like,
not even, Walker, 5 carries, 19 yards, a long of 11. And Zach had 2 carries for 11 yards.
jeez.
Nothing.
We handled them. We handled them
Yeah.
well. So shout out to, man, this team played so well on Sunday. Golly, got me hyped.
Mhm.
Special teams, Greg Joseph 3 for 3 on field goals. Gillian had 4 punts, had 1 punt inside the 20. But the field goal block tops it all, man.
That's it. That's all you got to talk about for special teams. They blocked the field goal.
And we never
They
talk
ran it
special
back.
teams. We never talk special teams. But
If
Sunday,
we're talking special teams, it's a problem. Like, we talked special
Usually.
teams week 2 when they didn't have
the kicker.
but I think that was more of a topic on Dable not being prepared again.
He's learned now.
He's learned. Yeah, he's back to 2022 Brian Dable. The good Brian Dable.
And Greg Joseph hasn't looked that bad. Like, I'm
fine.
I'm happy with him. Seriously. And yeah, shout out to Michael Grobio, the special teams coordinator, for drawing up that, whole special teams block play. When having Isaiah Simmons in there as a field goal team. I like that. I do. Keep him in there. He did it against Seattle. Big play to do it. Let him do it again for the rest of the season. Because Simmons, he's an athletic guy. And
yeah,
if teams aren't gonna pay attention to him, he's gonna continue to just
part
jump
of
over.
Simmons' struggles was he was just so athletic you couldn't really put him anywhere.
Yeah.
They put him into coverage. He didn't like that. He wanted to be more of a pass rusher. I think we're starting to slowly kind of revitalize his career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why not with us, man? He never had a role in Arizona. He has a home here. All right, but I think overall, just to sum it up, if the Giants just beat the Bengals on Sunday night, we said it earlier, we'll say it again because we need to make this clear. We'll preview the Bengals on Thursday as we always do when it comes to team previews. If we beat Cincinnati, I'm back, you're back. A lot of Giants fans will be back, and the season. It's on. And it's crazy how we talked about this in the past. This was supposed to be the gauntlet starting in week 3. It's we're approaching week 6, and the Giants have gone
2-1 in the gauntlet right now. They're 2-1 and easily could be 3-0.
Easily. Easily 3-0. But hey, we'll take this 2-3. A chance to shock the world on Sunday night. I'll take that all day. We weren't the only game that played this past week as we dive into our week 5 previews, week 5 review, as we always do, as we kind of give our takeaways and our breakdowns from certain games that kind of stood out to us. I'll let you go first because I know you had something to say about the Pittsburgh Steelers, correct if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, it's how much longer are the Steelers just going to be okay with Mike Tomlin? Because it's not something we think of. Like, Mike Tomlin's a good coach. Don't get me wrong. Always, if you're going 500 every single season, never had a losing record, you're a great head coach. My issue is he a good locker room guy, and is he a guy that can get the Steelers over the hump? Because I was on Twitter today, and I saw this tweet from Andrew Filippani, the Pawnee Express. It was listing out Steelers receivers. Martavis Bryant, traded for behavior issues. Now, most of his issues stem from marijuana use. Today's game, is that a problem? It's less of a problem, so kind of scratch him off. Antonio Brown, traded for behavior issues. Chase Claypool, traded for behavioral issues. Deontay Johnson, traded for behavior issues. George Pickens, a lot of narrative about him being traded because of behavior issues. The Le'Veon Bell situation. We're kind of seeing these behavior issues kind of keep popping up. Like, a pattern keeps popping up in the Steelers locker room of these guys getting really big egos and just kind of letting things fall off the rails? And how long is it until we stop blaming the player and look at the coaching staff that's kind of harboring this toxicity?
And this was kind of notable because Pickens, at the end of the game against Dallas, when Jordan Lewis kind of at the interception, he kind of just pulled he pulled his helmet down, and that kind of created a whole fiasco. And it's just like, I know you lost, but handle it with grace, man. Act like you've been here before. You've lost games before. Why do you pull someone's face mask? The Steelers do have character issues, and we've seen 4 or 5 guys get traded because of those said issues. Pickens, for me though, always seems like a guy that would cause issues. I mean, he's caused issues before, but to me, in the past, like when I've seen him and his actions he's committed, I'm like, this dude has a problem, and it's like someone has to blame. Steelers scouting department.
Scouting department, general manager, talent. Like, is it like what is it? Is it a locker room that's allowing this stuff to fester? Is it a general manager and a scouting department that's not picking up on these behavior problems, and they just kind of keep making the same mistake over and over again? Like, the Steelers got to figure it out, because this can't keep happening year in and year out. Like, it's going to prevent you from going where you want to go. And if you're the Steelers, it's Super Bowl or bust. Like, you don't think the Steelers want to get number 7, especially after the Patriots tied it?
Yeah.
Prevented them so many times from going to the Super Bowl. Like, you don't want to blame Tomlin because he is a great coach, but after a while, every coach has an expiration date. Bill Belichick won 6 Super Bowls with the Patriots, and he was fired. Not being, not having the franchise on a good trajectory. How long is it until Tomlin goes down the same way?
We will. We will. Trust me. We'll talk Phillies and Mets in just a bit. I do have some stuff to say. Nothing mean. It's just frustration towards the Mets. But anyways, Pittsburgh has lacked a receiver, a star receiver as it is. Pickens was the number 1 guy kind of by force because everyone else was just bad. Van Jefferson, really, Roman Wilson's a rookie. He's been absent even when healthy.
Yeah.
So the Steelers offense is sort of a mess. I don't know how they've gotten to this point at 3-2.
It's really just TJ Watt and like the defense being great is all it is.
And Justin Fields just being kind of a manager type, playing well enough to just keep his team in games. Yeah.
With Daniel Jones, he's basically being like a worse version of Jones. He's not, playing all by himself, but like he just does enough. He doesn't put the team in a position to lose.
Yeah. All right. 20-17. That game was delayed like crazy.
Have you seen the pictures? It looks like Thor's coming to Earth.
Man, dude, that rain was pouring. I was literally just sitting there waiting for the game. I was like, the rain is pouring. Oh my god, it was terrible. The weather just sucks, man. It's just right now it's sunny in California, but the whole weather.
It's sunny here. It should be sunny for first pitch at 5. So we're good. We're good there.
Yeah, but that hurricane, obviously, prayers to those affected by it, and hopefully.
Oh, yes.
Hate Mother Nature. Mother Nature can be a son of a gun.
I always go back when we see storms like this. Like they always say, humans can make the biggest bombs possible, but Mother Nature will always be the most destructive force.
Always. Alrighty. Let's see. We talked about Xavier McKinney in each game so far. On pace for 17 of them, which is not going to happen.
Good for McKinney. Good for him letting him work out with Green Bay, because like I don't think there was any hard feelings when him leaving, like there was when Saquon left, because like it was just like I think Giants fans like, hey, it sucks we lost you, but contract, that's a lot of money to give to you. Let Green Bay pay that. We wish you nothing but the best, kind of thing. And sure, is that contract we're not going to pay right now? No, when you have an interception in each game, you deserve all the money. But like at the time, probably when it's over, it's going to be like, all right, this is a little bit of an overpayment.
I do wonder how negotiations went down, because they didn't show that in Hard Knocks.
Yeah, no, they kind of did gloss over it, and I think it's kind of everything with McKinney got lost because of the Saquon stuff. But yeah, no, I would love to see what, transpire. Like, what did the Giants make a respectable offer to?
Yeah, but so far he's playing well for Green Bay. Great stuff for the Packers, who, let's be honest, once they're healthy, Jordan Love, Dobbs, who was suspended, but he should be ready to go for this week. And then Christian Watson, Dontavian Wicks, Jaden Reed. When they're healthy, this Packers team, they can go places. So we'll see what happens with Green Bay. Minshew Mania and on the Raiders. Yeah, that died. that was fast. That was fast.
Yeah, poor Minshew. Fine gets to start a chance to prove himself, and he gets proven with the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah.
One of.
I think they benched him for O'Connell, but he didn't look as good as well. So the Raiders will be drafting a quarterback.
If you're a Raiders fan, it's who's in the draft that we can go get.
Well, they wanted Jaden Daniels, but couldn't get him. 49ers, 0-2 in the NFC West, 0-3 in the NFC. They fell to the Cardinals out of all teams on Sunday. Is that concerning, Brian? Yes or no?
A little concerning because, the Niners are struggling, but the Niners are a good team and they'll figure it out. Kyle Shanahan is too talented of a coach to have this continue to happen to them. They'll find they're like the Bengals in years past. They'll find their groove around week 7 or 8 and just not look back.
True. All right. Game of the week: Bengals, Ravens, 41-38. Ravens won an OT. It has to be game of the week. That's a game I like.
Game of the week, game of the season.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, both offenses were on fire. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Lamar Jackson was hitting Isaiah Likely twice. I mean, the Ravens and Bengals. Shout out to both of those teams. They played extremely well. Ravens came out on top in overtime out of all results. So great game there. Nico Collins will be out for the Texans for a certain amount of time. How big of a loss is that for Houston?
It's a pretty big loss because he has been kind of Stroud's go-to receiver all year. And I know the Texans have a pretty solid offensive, unit with guys like Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs. But when you lose your kind of main skill weapon, your offense is always going to take a step back because of it until it readjusts and you relearn how to live without him.
Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs expected to serve as the primary pass catchers for Mr. C.J. Stroud.
It's not a downgrade, but Nico Collins was on pace for I think 2,000 yards.
Yeah, and
he's lost regardless of who it is.
From the moment he took the field with Stroud last year, those two have a great chemistry together, Collins and CJ Stroud. So obviously losing him hurts. For those of you who watched Dolphins and Patriots on Sunday, you have problems, please feel free to get help.
Unless you're a Dolphins or Patriots fan, and even then it's 50-50.
Even then, holy crap, 15-10. I think the Dolphins escaped that one. Yeah, they did.
Score. The Patriots did score. Polk was in the end zone and then get called out, stepped out.
Wait a minute, but can we go back to the Giants real quick?
Yeah.
Eric Gray did score, right? I know because I know it's a fumble for a touchdown by Seattle. But if you saw the play, Gray reached that ball was over the line. That was a touchdown. Okay, just want to make sure.
I mean, it doesn't matter now. We won the game, but
could have won.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. I just want to bring it up. I was missing something. I was like, wait a minute, someone scored on something that, but it wasn't kind of a touchdown. That was Eric Gray. But yeah, the Dolphins. They somehow pulled out a win, 15-10.
Both teams lost because, the Dolphins won, but if you're a Dolphins fan, do you have any confidence in this team anymore?
And this is why we're starting Drake May on Sunday against the Texans. Woohoo!
Drake May. I mean, even then, if I'm a Patriots fan, I don't really want Drake May behind there. That offensive line is so bad, you're going to ruin them.
Yeah. But they don't have a choice. Brissett sucks.
You're right. They don't have a choice. They're going to have to play the kid and try to save some jobs. But at the same time, you got to be panicking because Drake May is a lot like Daniel Jones and needs that good old line in front of him. But the Patriots just don't have right now.
Good point. Are we pulling the plug on Deshaun Watson?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay.
The plug should have pulled a week ago.
Yeah.
He is just a complete this might go down as the worst trade in NFL history. Like, I need to see what had the Texans done with the Browns pick so far, because like we always point to like the Herschel Walker trade because of what Dallas was able to do with Herschel Walker and all those draft picks, but just the way Deshaun Watson has regressed is a POS human being. Just like see him on the sidelines, and you just like, how can you even respect him? Like he just doesn't look like he cares, shows no energy, completely ignores the head coach. A head coach, which is a 2-time coach of the year, who deserves your respect and is trying to revive your career, made the playoffs last year with the corpse of Joe Flacco. Maybe earned him a little respect, and not you just walking around looking like a bust. Like, sure, you got $230 million, but that was the Browns being morons more than what you have done for this team.
Their true starting quarterback is Jameis Winston. He needs to start. He is a leader. He's always the guy motivating his guys in the pregame huddle.
Sidelines. He's up and down. That's every single shot of the Browns sideline. Jameis Winston is somewhere. It's like, oh, there he is. It's like, where's Waldo? Oh, there he is. There he is. There he is.
And like he may throw interceptions here and there, and that's normal. But he's capable.
You know what you're getting.
Yeah, he's capable. Him or DTR, Dorian Thompson Robinson. You start one of those guys.
One of them puts you in a better chance because, like, at the very least, they'll have a chip on their shoulder. Deshaun Watson's got nothing going for him right now. It's all his money's guaranteed. What is it really to accomplish?
The question is, does Kevin Stefanski have the guts to bench Deshaun?
I don't know if it's the guts. I think it's what's coming from above him. Like, Jimmy Haslam, the general manager, going to allow them to bench Deshaun Watson because they gave up so much for him. They're almost forced to play him.
Well, the worst QB in the league is no longer Daniel Jones. It is Deshaun Watson.
Cool. Dude, what? Daniel Jones is no longer even closer to the bottom quarterback.
Close.
How about this? Would you rather start right now Bryce Young or Deshaun Watson?
Oh, son of a! I'm giving Bryce a second chance.
I think Bryce Young has something to prove.
Exactly. Like, he's motivated now. I mean, he had that interview where he was like, he doesn't feel too motivated. But you put him on a different team. Yeah.
The opportunity, I think, will be motivated. I don't know if Deshaun Watson will be motivated the way Bryce Young would be. Because Deshaun Watson proved in the past he was a good quarterback. He got the money. It's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, it's like, I can suck now.
I am a good quarterback. I'm trying to prove it to you.
Yeah. And then finally, Jets, we talked about earlier with the whole offense situation. It's time to get Devontae Adams. I don't care what you got to do. Pull off any trade. Do what you got to do. Just please go get Devontae. If you want to save yourself this year, go get him, please. Otherwise, the Jets are the worst team in New York, and that's saying something because you have us.
Yeah, because the Giants are feisty. The Giants are like they're not like the most talented team, but they're like a team that want to play. Like, they're just going to be pesky, hard fought, well coached. Well, the Jets are kind of like, it's just kind of all in or nothing.
Pretty much. Okay, let's rip the Band-Aid off. No, actually, no. Real quick, we have to let's review the other playoff series in MLB. Tigers and Guardians series tied up 1-1. Royals and Yankees 1-1, and then Dodgers Padres 1-1. By the way,
Costas needs to stop calling baseball games. Have you seen any of the calls? He is so biased towards the New York Yankees. It is ridiculous. Like, the Yankees had Stanton up last night. I think they had a runner on first in the bottom of the eighth. It was 4-1 Royals, and Stanton hits like a routine ground ball, and Bob Costas just sounds defeated when he's saying it. It's like, bro, you're not calling the game for yes. You're calling it for TBS.
Wrong network, Costas. Wrong network.
Bob Costas is a legend in sports reporting and all that, but
just not commenting.
Hang it up, bud.
Hang it up.
It's kind of like watching Peyton Manning in his final season with Denver. It's like, ooh, I don't like this.
All right, Stefania. The Mets dominated by Zach Leader, but for 7 innings.
Stefania, thank you.
Oh, shut up.
100% right.
Me and you, we don't argue because we're both Giants fans, but okay, I'm not mad at you.
No. You wasted a 7-inning masterclass from Zach Wheeler.
I'm freaking sorry. Our guys can't freaking hit the ball. Son of a
Come back, kids. And then you guys got lucky on Sunday. Like, you guys blew it again in the ninth. Like, the Mets are up 3-0 the entire game. They blew it. And then the Mets came right back as soon as the Phillies went to that bullpen. And the Phillies blew it again to Mark Vientos. And then the Mets blew it a little later on, but we don't talk about that.
Phillies up 6-4 in the 8th, and then we allowed the Vientos home run, wasn't it?
Vientos bomb.
Son of, and then Castellanos, that beautiful man. I love Castellanos, man. He's always so damn clutch. But no.
Well, I don't know about clutch. He's very good when the tragedy happens.
So what you're saying is we need a tragedy that happens. The
hurricane. You're saying that.
The hurricane. Well, no, that's been going.
Look at you rooting for people to get hurt. It's messed up.
No. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. So fudge. This makes me think bad. Game 1, yeah, we mentioned so Wheeler pitched 7 innings. Was extremely well. The Mets couldn't get anything going against Wheeler. Then the bullpen came in. Mets had 5 runs in the 8th. That was for me to what I know for you. You were jumping for joy. But
amazing.
That dude, I don't know.
The Mets have like a team of destiny vibes right now to them.
It's just
like they just can't lose.
You can't pitch 7 innings and then freaking lose the game, man. It's like fudge. The Phillies bullpen looks so shaky though. Like that's the thing that scares me heading into tonight is that if Nola, knock on wood, struggles against the Mets, do you trust that bullpen to go out there?
If I was in Philly shoes, I would be sweating every time that bullpen took them out because we've had back-to-back games where the Mets show that they can hit that bullpen and they hit it well.
And that's the thing. I'm like, fuck. Because Wheeler, 30 swings and misses. You cannot have a better start than that against this Mets team that are they're a gritty team. And you put the bullpen in there and they put 5 runs in the freaking 8th inning. It's just like, what the fuck?
The Mets are playing with no pressure on them right now because like before the series started, I'm like, if we can just take one game in Philly, we'll be fine. And we took it in dramatic fashion in game 1, and we were like pretty close in game 2 to taking another one. So like we're playing with like all the momentum, going back to Citi Field for the first time in 16 days, and with all the magic that's happened with the Mets in 16 days, this is going to be a rowdy crowd going into Citi Field. Especially with Keith Hernandez starting out the first pitch. Met fans are going to be going crazy. There's a reason standing room only tickets are $200 right now.
Damn. You were going to go to this one, weren't you?
When Pete Alonso hit the home run, I looked at tickets immediately and I saw they were $200. I'm like, I will be staying home to watch this.
I will sit on my couch.
I will save my money. I will sit on my couch. I'll sit on my nice couch and be comfortable and know where my bathroom is. And like not have to worry about getting up.
There's food available easily instead of waiting in line.
Food's in the cabinet, beer's in the fridge. We're good. Sitting right here.
But yeah, Mets took game 1. Phillies came back and won game 2, 7-6. Ain't the Castellanos walk-off single in the 9th. Back and forth game that one was. But yeah, I'm glad we got a win at least at home because last year in Philadelphia when we had the 3-2 lead in the NLCS against the Diamondbacks, we blew that one in game 6 and 7. So it's nice to at least get a win at home, and then we just have to take care of business tonight against Sean Manaea, who the boss here says, Manaea on the mound tonight and uses Chris Sale pitching motion after incredible game 2. Expect the Phillies bats to go cold. Hey, and
Yes, sir. Love the boss on that one. He's 100% right. Manaea's look great. Then switching to that Chris Sale style of motion.
I hate you.
It's a night and day difference.
I hate you're a Mets fan sometimes. Now I do because it's like hello. But yeah, so yeah, the first home game for the Mets set September 22nd. The vibes are good for the Mets. I will say the vibes are great for you guys. Vientos, I won't be honest with you, haven't really heard of him much until this post.
Yeah, So Vientos was a big prospect for us, but he was always overshadowed by Brett Beatty. And then Beatty, we gave Beatty a shot this year to start. He kind of struggled. We finally gave Mark Vientos. Mark Vientos was always described as a really good power hitter. He just had very high strikeout numbers. Like he was striking out like 30% of the time in like AA and AAA, like just ugly numbers. Like it was basically home run or bust. But since coming to the majors, those strikeout numbers are down, the contact's up, and the power is up, and it's looked great. Like Vientos has established himself as a third baseman of the future, possibly first baseman in the future, depending on what happens with Pete Alonso. He might make the move over to first.
How about Alonso, man? Oof, so clutch.
He's so clutch. He's clutch now. I like it. It's the polar bear is waking up, and if you're Mets, the one thing the Mets have been missing this entire season has been Pete Alonso because he's just never gotten going. If we can get Pete Alonso going right now, the Mets can go toe-to-toe with anybody.
Which unfortunately is us. So
it's you right now. It's going to be the Dodgers, the Padres, and we're
going
to the American League.
Hold on. I love your confidence. But you guys have now. We have Nola tonight. Tomorrow, we will roll with Suarez, and I think who do you guys? Do you know who you have for game? By any chance?
Right. I think it's Quintana would be my guess. I don't know if the Mets have announced starter yet, though.
Okay, prefer the Hobbits.
If you can, they'll go Quintana, and then if there is a game 5, it's looking like it's going to be. It's going to be Senga again.
Eesh. 2 innings by Senga on Saturday.
Yeah, 2 innings. Not surprising because he had the injury all season. Didn't really pitch that much. 10-2 win today. Let's go. LFGM. He is right. The last time the Phillies played in Citi Field, the Mets won 3 of 4 with the injured Lindor on the bench.
No Phillies fans? Jeez, we got 4 Mets fans.
Keep coming, baby.
Oh, God. All right, well, we'll see. So our next show is likely to be Thursday. So by then, either the series is wrapped up or we're back to 2-2 and
hang
Friday.
On game 5.
And then we have to wait till next week to talk about the series. So hopefully for one of us, because we're on
by Thursday, huh?
Yeah, me
How about
too.
that? I'm all right. Let's get this thing wrapped up.
Nola, for the love of God, please just get the job done for us, baby. Let's kind of calm this.
Pete, you know what to do tonight.
You know what? It's not even Nola. It's our freaking bullpen. Please, for the love of God, like I don't freaking know.
If you're going to Citi Field tonight, we need to hear you. We need you singing "My Girl" when Lorca's up to the plate. We need it to be loud.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I'm so tired of being on the opposite side of the crowd. It's going to be so nice being with the crowd tonight while watching the game.
Citi Field's going to be rocking, so hopefully we'll see who pulls it off tonight.
There might be an earthquake.
Yeah, let's just add on more to the weather issues that we're dealing with. Hallelujah.
Marshall Lynch causes an earthquake. It can happen. Fair
enough. All right. Well, that'll do it for the Third and 10 podcast, episode 30 of season 2. Definitely a fun one. For the both of us, great win by the Giants this past weekend. We'll talk more about them on Thursday as they take on the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday Night Football in front of a national TV audience. By Thursday, hopefully, for one of us, the series ends on by Thursday. If not, we will dive into Game 5 and we'll dive into what happened in Games 3 and Game 4 if the series remains tied by the time Thursday comes around. But we appreciate you guys always. Check out us on our personal Twitters. I'm Nathan _Nguyen24. Brian is Brian PG1016. And you can follow us.
Right at the bottom here. You can see
right at the bottom.
The
and then you can follow us on all of our social media. I know. It's like we have a specific one, and then we have our like podcast thing in the middle, which is Third and 10 Pod. And
because like especially like when like our names pop up, like mine so says the worst weekend ever. I can't change it. I cannot figure out. I spent hours, cannot figure out how to change it.
Yeah, stream nerds.
I'm just like it's every so often if it pops up, I'm just gonna be like, yeah. something else happened. Ignore that.
Exactly. But you can follow us on our social media for our podcast at 3010 Pod, and then our YouTube channel is officially 3010 Podcast. It's been changed to that, so it's easier to find as well. For Brian, I'm Nate. Thank you guys so much for your support. As always, we appreciate you guys. Follow, check out clips throughout the week. We'll see you Thursday. Well, I can't say go Phillies, but
Let's go Mets, baby. Let's go Mets.
I hate you. Bye, guys. Have a good one.